Sample's safe. You got my word. Someone spilled the beans, huh? Yeah, Hadrian and I. We're both former Xeno warfare. But it's been almost 20 years since the UC cut us loose. Since then, well, I've just been trying to make ends meet. Picking up jobs as a lab tech, a physician, a vet. Not a lot of folks excited to hire someone with a past like mine. Which is why, when the Trade Authority offered to bring me on as a consultant, I leapt at the chance. Guess I should have spent a little more time on that fine print. It's certainly not good. Terramorph attacks don't bother us in our daily lives because they're so infrequent. Londinian was horrible, but it was one rare exception. Another sample, though, gets us one step closer to it becoming the rule, which means we need to get this information into the right hands as soon as possible. The ultimate sin. I cut him out of a deal. Medicine can get tight on Mars. Mining's plenty dangerous. So I cooked up some meds on the side for an old friend who was running low. Well, that friend told her friends, and before I knew it, I'd become Mars' go-to black market pharmacist. Trade Authority eventually found out and wanted a piece of everything I sold. And then some. It was at that point I decided to take my leave of absence. Just talking to myself, I guess. That's right. UC shuttered it after the war. But I, just happened to remember the access codes. Figure no one else was using it. Plus, I knew the security was good enough that the Trade Authority couldn't just come waltzing in the door even if they figured out where I was. So, I set up shop. Lou hooked me up with some supplies when I first came down. Damn good thing he did, too. Since once those spacers moved in, I was on my own until you showed.
That tracker agent was looking around for help with something. Told her I could.
Is that really her? Hadrian.
Percival. My God, look at you. You're an old man now.
You're no hatchling yourself anymore, Major. Our friend here showed me your sample. Suffice it to say...
Not here. Let's talk somewhere more private. Lou said we could use the back. Lou gave me the abridged version of what went down. I can't thank you enough for taking care of all that.
Makes two of us.
I hope it ultimately didn't end up being too much trouble. That's certainly not what I was expecting you'd have to go through. But thank you. I'm just glad you both came through intact. So, were you two able to get that workup together?
Got it right here. That sample? It's an exact match for the ones from Londinian.
Londinian. That's exactly what I was afraid of.
Not thrilled to be the bearer of that kind of news. That's for damn sure. So tell me you've got some kind of plan for that workup.
Well, right now, we've got more questions than answers. So I've been trying to figure out what it's gonna take to access our old Terramorph data.
Good place to start. What'd you find?
It's in the archives.
The Armistice Archives? Doesn't that mean we'd be dealing with the Cabinet? And the Freestar Collective? And House Varun somehow? Guess we can kiss that approach goodbye.
I didn't think the Cabinet would be willing to hear us out either. But I called in some favors. They've agreed to hear us out on 2 conditions. 1, they want to see this analysis you two have procured. And 2, they want to discuss what happened on Tau Ceti. With both of us.
Cabinet, what's that?
The Cabinet's the UC's highest governing body. The President, top military brass, scientific and diplomatic division heads. Any major decision the UC makes goes through them. They're the only real chance we've got of unlocking the archives. So without their blessing, we're flying blind.
What's the Armistice Archives?
Well, when the colony war came to a close 19 years ago, with the signing of the armistice, 3 factions were involved in the negotiations. The UC, Freestar, and House Varun. They made a lot of decisions about what sort of tactics should and shouldn't be permitted in future conflicts. All information related to the things they decided should be banned was locked away in the archives. Now, it's possible to get things out of there, but only with the agreement of members from all 3 factions. And as to what our research is doing in there, well, I'll get to that.
Doesn't sound like any run-of-the-mill data you're after. I'll take that explanation now.
Of course. You deserve the full story. Percival and I, we're not just researchers. We were military scientists, ran a division of the UC together that deployed aliens on the battlefield as weapons.
Place I was hiding out. That was our unit's home base.
After some early fits and starts at other facilities, the place eventually became the heart of UC xeno-warfare. A practice that's been banned ever since the armistice went into effect almost 20 years ago. And the UC military cut us loose for what we'd done.
Then what does that make you two now? Is the UC going to throw me in prison for helping you?
No. We were both dismissed after the war for what we did. These days, we're just concerned citizens with a very particular area of expertise. Our damage has been done for a long time.
Still doesn't explain what this Terramorph data is doing in the archives.
Well, it was during that assignment that the UC asked us to explore deploying Terramorphs on the battlefield.
Now we get
The project
to it.
never got off the ground, but the data our team gathered is now sitting in the archives, along with all the other information banned after the colony war. Under the watchful eye of monitors from all the galactic factions still participating in regular politics. But if we can convince the Cabinet to help us access that data, it'll give us the tools we need to decipher what exactly this sample might mean. And hopefully, how to prevent more attacks like the one that spawned it.
Okay. Then let's go talk to this cabinet.
All right. I'm gonna go get this work up into the cabinet's hands. I'll meet you out front of Mast in New Atlantis.
Good luck. You two are gonna need it.
If you need something, I've got your back.
Okay.
Friend to one devil, friend to them all.
Was that Percival walking through there with you? Oh, glad to see he's still kicking.
Be careful down near the mines, and enter any active sites at your own risk.
Main level. Wanted to see if there's any stores in this place. Not sure. I don't think there is.
The mark was accurate, and the tracker in question didn't hurt anyone. But if history is any judge, it's
Here's
only a matter of time
some
before
UC
it
exchange.
more tragic outcomes.
If you're going to use the elevators or stairs to reach the other levels, try to keep them.
Reliant Medical. Let's see what's in here.
We got a lot of good stuff here. Come take a look, eh? Hello, welcome to the Sidonia UC Exchange. The best goods, all courtesy of the United Colonies, straight to all of the wonderful UC soldiers, workers, and other citizens. I've got a little of this, a little of that, and maybe a little of some other things you wouldn't expect to find at the UC shop, But that's because I try to provide for everyone here. So, please, browse my stock and let me know what I can get for you, friendo. Take a look.
Let's see what he has weapon-wise. Anything special? I don't see anything special. Ammo. Yes, I'll take that. I'll take that. Okay. Spacesuits, anything special? Let's compare to what we got already. Okay, that's a little better. Nope. 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 This one here is a little better. It's expensive though. Let's buy it. Okay. Let's see what they got pack wise. Nothing pack wise. What about helmets? No. Okay. Do they have any med packs? Yeah. Only one though. What about 8? Oh, that's what I just got, right? Alright.
Hey, catch you on the flip side.
Let me see. Just in case, I have to do some persuading. Let me put on my persuading suit. And then, let's see. Space suit. Okay. Save it. Okay, sir. It looked like you wanted something. What you want, girl?
In other news, on the lifeless planet of Vectera, a mining operation run by Argos Extractor.
Sarah Morgan. Oh, I'm stuck in the ceiling. What's this here? Broken spear.
I hope I'm not bothering you.
Where was we supposed to be meeting them? What the hell? Okay. Huh. Oh yeah, we were supposed to meet him over there. We were supposed to meet him over there in Jemison, right? Here. Oh, up there.
Captain! Over here! The workup's in the cabinet's hands. They said they'll call for us once they've gotten to properly review it. But listen, I know I should have been more forthcoming about who I was earlier. So, in the interest of full disclosure, there's one more thing you ought to know before we head up there. My relationship with the UC. It's more complicated than it might seem at first glance. The UC's actually the only reason I'm here in the first place. I am a clone of a man named Francois Sanon, one-time fleet admiral of the UC during the Colony War, former head of the UC Navy. They called him Ve Victus, woe to the defeated, in Old Earth Latin, a title he earned. The program I was a part of, it was the UC's attempt to create a new generation of military minds from one of their most respected tacticians. Secure the leadership of the UC military for generations to come.
Yeah, you're a clone of a man. How does that work? That's what I was first
A
thinking.
non-trivial amount of gene editing. Clone, honestly, isn't even really the right term for our relationship, thanks to the amount of donor material that was required to bring me into this world. He and I are different on more than a few levels, but there's no denying the fact we're inextricably linked.
Are there others from your program still out there, other clones?
I'm the last. A few of my siblings, they passed when we were young. Training accidents and the like. But most of the rest were deployed to the front lines during the Colony War, and they never came back. Not a day goes by where I don't think about what the world would look like with them still in it.
Doesn't sound like they succeeded in securing that legacy.
No. They made a pretty grave miscalculation. The man I was cloned from, my father, was executed for acts he committed during the war. The man caused a lot of death, on both sides. Freestar Collective, and UC. Military, and civilians. And the things he did, well, they're a part of the reason the UC and Freestar Collective aren't really on great terms to this day. So my involvement, it could be another obstacle they throw at us up there. I just wanted you to be forewarned.
This UC seems like you're getting shadier and shadier by the minute. You're not your father at the cabinet doesn't see that. It's their problem, not yours. Well, let's go with that one.
I really appreciate you saying that. I just thought you deserved to know, considering how much you've done already. You know, while we've got a second, was there anything else we needed to discuss? I know you got dropped into the middle of this pretty fast. Or, if you've got any last-minute business to attend to, now might be a good time. No telling how long the cabinet's gonna keep us waiting out here.
Any suggestions on what I should say to the cabinet?
It's hard to know exactly what might sway them. I'd just be honest about what you saw. A colony wiped out, and a lot of lives lost. Something we don't want anyone else to have to experience.
Yeah, your eyes, they're red. Is that a result of the cloning process?
That's actually a souvenir from my time on Mars. The Red Devils unit I was a part of, they were founded by recruits who'd worked some of Mars' deepest mines. Folks used to adversity. The dust at those depths, it seeps into everything. The human eye included. Where the name Red Devils came from in the first place. It became an unwritten rite of passage that anyone wanting to enlist with the Devils had to do a stint in the mines before they could join up. The Devils were always talked about in such revered tones during my training, so as soon as I was old enough, I signed up. And the eyes were my parting gift.
Yeah, see, I noticed that on that Percival, too, that he had the red eyes. And, so, honestly, what's the risk of us accessing this data?
Eye strain from the amount of reading I've got on the horizon if we succeed. The Terramorph project never went anywhere. It couldn't. They're deadly creatures, but they aren't xenoweapons. The cabinet not opening the archives is probably a bigger risk than them handing over the files. That data itself isn't dangerous, which probably wouldn't be a bad point for us to bring up, should the opportunity arise.
Okay, don't have any questions, no.
Then I guess it's just a matter of...
The cabinet meeting is about to begin. All parties, please proceed to the cabinet chambers.
Sounds like our cue. Here we go.
Let me save it. I wonder, I'm thinking if I'm not sure. I was thinking about, I used this precognition before. Or was it that one? I think it's that one. Yeah, I believe it's this one. Let me try that just in case. And I'm also going to use my persuasion. Let me take that too before I get going. Let's see. Is it Hippola? This lasts for 5 minutes. Hope I don't take 5 minutes to get going. Let me save it again. Alright, let's do this. Cabinet members, interstellar affairs.
Ah, welcome. You must be the Captain Hadrian mentioned in her report. You have our thanks for the risks you faced in securing this information.
Let's see. Hadrian made it clear that addressing this issue required the utmost urgency.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
Yes, well, precisely how urgent is what I hope we'll determine here today. So now, we have 2 petitioners here making a
Well, I probably should have
surprising
pushed the
request.
precognition before
Access
I
to
went
the
in there.
UC Xeno-Warfare Team's Terramorph data, currently housed in the Armistice archives. A request which will require not just this body's agreement, but that of all 3 Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun. Now, Captain, we've all read Hadrian's report on the subject, but we have yet to hear from you. Perhaps you could summarize for the Cabinet what it is you see as the goal of this endeavor.
That could be pretty good. We need the archival data to find a way to stop it possible. We're still trying to figure out what we're facing. We can't make an informed decision without data.
That is something to consider. Though we also have to take into account the nature of the data you require.
Madam President, I object to the very premise of this meeting. While no one would argue that what happened on Tau Ceti was anything less than a tragedy, terramorph attacks are not some sudden new threat on the horizon. They've been happening for generations. To demand we hand over banned archival knowledge and possibly upset the balance of galactic diplomacy because of a single attack seems at best panic, and at worst, a power grab by the daughter of a bloodthirsty warmonger and her associates.
I would remind the chief diplomat who he's speaking to. If it's my father you're looking to address, you're welcome to consult a medium. I would also ask how many deaths the Cabinet requires to act. 50? 50,000? Because if tragedies like Tau Ceti are just prelude to more attacks, I have no doubt you'll get the body count you require.
Let's keep this civil, shall we? And while there should be no doubt, the preservation of life stands paramount among this body's duties. Chief Yassine has a point. Will a single attack, however troubling, be sufficient to convince the other factions to grant us access to what they no doubt consider weapon data? I don't think it's enough. Perhaps you can help, Captain. As the one who actually collected the sample in question, did this terramorph seem at all alarming to you?
Wiped out a colony that I never saw. That's pretty alarming. Let me try that one.
That is worth considering. This attack took place on an almost completely uninhabited world. The casualties were minimal as a result. But if there's another attack, will we be so lucky?
Yes, a fine point, Admiral. So then, Captain, given the discussion now and the information you've been privy to thus far, if you were in our position, would you grant the request made to open the archives?
Wonder what would happen if I said this, like one of these down here. I wouldn't grant it. The archives was sealed for a reason. I wonder if they still go. Would that end all this right now? I don't know. Let's try this. Yes, if the fear is the data being weaponized, the Terramorph program failed, the data's not dangerous.
It doesn't matter if it can be weaponized or not. The archives need to remain sealed for now.
Really?
There's no reason to rush into a decision of this magnitude.
Oh, shut up, Sarah. Why did I even bring you along?
I hadn't thought of that, Captain.
An excellent point indeed. The other powers would likely be much more inclined to work with us knowing that. Chief Diplomat.
That point is a good one. Very well, you have my agreement. The galaxy is lucky you were here today, Captain.
You and I are in agreement, Chief Diplomat. So, if there are no other objections, I believe we can agree to give our full backing to make the request to...
What was that?
What was that?
Attention. An incident has occurred. Facility lockdown engaged.
Incident? Chief Sarkin, what's happening?
There's been an attack at the spaceport. Terramorphs.
Terramorphs. More attacks.
Really?
Just as predicted.
Good God.
Damn it. They're here. Now.
There must be another explanation. The creatures evaded our scanners somehow.
There will be plenty of time for conjecture later. Chief Sarkin, order the evacuation of the spaceport and have your men contain the things, but do it discreetly. The last thing we need is a citywide panic.
Yes, ma'am.
Admiral Logan, the local barracks can provide support?
I'll make the order myself. Nearest anti-Xeno squad, though, is off-world. Going to take a while to bring them in.
Well then, we'll have to make do with the tools we've got. You two, we can't risk those things getting out of the spaceport. I want you both on the next train there. We'll let them know you're coming, and that you've dealt with these things before. Now go show them how it's done.
We're on it, ma'am. Captain, I'm right behind you. Let's get down there.
Well, I thought I might follow you. Or Sarah. She didn't want... Let me see. Well, I didn't get to use my precognition stuff like I wanted, so... I wonder which would be better. I think the solar flare might work pretty good against them. Let's try that. I had to figure out what this increased starborn power regeneration speed for 60. Oh, okay. So that's R. Let me save it before we rush off to go save the world. Inaccessible. Well, how the hell am I supposed to get there if I can't get out? Watch out, dudes. Y'all supposed to be coming with me. Come on. Music got excited.
You!
What is this.
EM rifle, grab it! Now!
Stop! We're trying to help you! That's it. Now hit him with everything you've got.
What's going on? Equip the EM weapon. Why do I gotta equip the EM weapon? Oh, that's so dumb. Which one is it?
Why? Here we are. Don't. This one's down. Let's see if they've got anything worth taking. Why is it?
Am I just supposed to keep hitting them till they completely down?
Got a present for ya.
Quit throwing grenades, Sarah. Wow. Shoot this one in the butt.
Don't you want? Damn it! Don't lose them.
God, dog, how much does it take to knock them down? Wow.
Thank you for what you did. We didn't want to hurt them.
The way those people were acting, I've seen this before. They were under the Terramorph's influence, weren't they?
I don't know. They were down at the port and they just started screaming. We tried to restrain them, get them on the train to get them out of harm's way, but some of the other officers down there, we couldn't restrain them fast enough. They just started firing on us. People we knew. They went berserk.
Pheromonic projection. Some Terramorphs, they can induce this fog. It affects everyone differently, but some people just lose control, turn against everyone around them, even if they don't want to. They're like a puppet. You kill the morph, you break the hold. But this means we're gonna need to be real careful with our fire, and keep that EM weapon at the ready.
So this means I need to worry about you turning on me?
I honestly was just wondering the same thing. But no, you don't need to worry about me. I've had a Terramorph try it on me before. I'm not susceptible. So we'll just have to make sure to watch out for each other down there.
So if someone comes to me, I'm putting them down.
Well, you better keep that EM weapon loaded then. Now let's move.
Nat's unlocked. Please, do what you can to help them.
So I'm forced to use this EM weapon whether I want to or not? Okay. Huh.
power. Let's move.
Okay. Thank you. Let's see. What's the most I got? This one here is 239. That's 291. Seemed like I had something that was like 3 something. Here's 320. Let's use this one. I got 200 rounds.
For the Spaceport district. All citizens are required to proceed.
Let me take a aid here and see what I got. That maybe will cause a whole bunch of damage. Amp is movement speed. Not gonna be doing close quarter combat. Damage, 40% damage for 2 minutes. Let's do that one. Frost Wolf.
To the nearest shelter.
Gonna be okay. It's not real.
It's here! You might back up! Don't just stand there! Good!
Holding our perimeter. They said you've done this before, huh? Well, one fire team to spare and whatever supplies you need, but I can't risk them taking over any more men. Put those things down and do it fast. We'll hold them as best we can.
Let me speak to the fire team. Where's the fire team? Over here. Let's speak to these guys.
Rumors? You the experts? Well, all right.
Where are we going? I gotta speak to each one of them.
Heard you might be looking for some backup. You say the word, we're out there on your 6.
You two have any experience with terramorphs before?
Only the brief they just gave on the way here. But we know how to handle pressure.
Surviving a full-on mental assault isn't the same as keeping your cool in a firefight. Might make you more liability than asset.
We're not UC security. You don't need to worry about us.
I want you watching my back.
Roger that. We're on you. Eyes open.
Alright. Look at us there. Alright. Let's do this. Wait a minute. Gotta go this way, I guess. This one's closer, right?
They're going to eat you alive.
Uh-oh. Did it lock up on me? Let's go, Joe. Let's go, Joe. I got the G.I. Joes backing me up.
Closer now.
If these things reached the populated areas of the city, we would have had an absolute massacre on our hands.
Did we win? That wasn't quite as bad as I thought they were going to be. Of course, I'm at a higher level than probably what originally was intended.
We'll find
You're
a good
going
use
to be
for
carrying
this.
that gooey mess, right?
Guess they weren't kidding about you two. The universe put the right people in the right place.
You all held the line. You're the heroes here, not us.
Certainly doesn't feel like it.
I don't want to think what would have happened if you two hadn't been here.
Just glad we could rise to the occasion. Captain, we should report back to the President. Let her know the Terramorphs have been dealt with. Take care of yourself, Sergeant.
Sure seems to be really convenient that right about the time we were trying to get that data, the Terramorphs attack. Don't it? This poor old New Atlantis, he has to go down on lockdown on a regular.
The spaceport has been secured. Safety precautions remain in place. Please wait for the all-clear signal before exiting your homes. That is all.
I didn't even hardly get injured. Oop, sorry about that. Cabinet chambers.
Terramorphs.
That's a relief to hear. Thank you, gentlemen. Let your people all know how much we owe them today.
Yes, ma'am.
Ah, there you are. I believe, Captain, Hadrian, it would appear that the Cabinet owes you our thanks for what you did for the city today. As well as an apology. Your concerns about the Terramorphs, well, consider them validated.
Thank you, ma'am.
I take my gratitude and credit as real estate or luxury goods.
I had some ideas on that front, Captain, but we'll get to that.
Oh.
Now, today's events have only clarified our path forward in the eyes of the Cabinet. You will have our full support in collecting the Terramorph data from the archives, as well as a subsequent investigation into the nature of these attacks. But to accomplish those goals, we're going to need the right people in the right places. As such, the Cabinet has authorized me to reinstate you, Hadrian, effective immediately, to your former rank of Major. As soon as we've got the data